Because he was real about basketball. So you're talking basketball. He loved basketball, and he went about it.
It changes a lot, and you pass a lot of them cats that was supposed to be next to you thickly.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, if Stanley was good enough to get you here, I did every deal. I did a Nike deal. I did every deal that he got.
I was so non-trusting because of what I just dealt with,
right,
that I couldn't trust anything.
Shout out to Keith Stevens. Say, hey, I'm going to grab all the WCAC kids.
And they win.
That's right.
But it hurt.
In the long run.
It hurt in the long run.
Okay. They got to finish probably top 4 WCAC. That's what we top. But if they can, and all I can say is, man, I expect y'all to call me a little bit sooner because he was messed up. I was crushed.
Who you with? Who you with?
Game related.
Stay game related, man.
My man. Stay game related, man.
Stay game related, y'all.
Stay game related, man.
Stay game related.
My man.
Stay game related.
Stay game related, man. The best in the business. It's only game related. You gotta stay here locked in.
When you make it in life, you always want to give back. Yeah. Same what you doing right now. These kids
have faith, believe in God.
Cool.
Just put that work in.
Stay game related, man.
Stay game related, man. Listen, game related for sure.
My man.
Yeah, stay game related, y'all.
So stay game related.
Stay game related.
Stay game related.
Game related.
Stay game related.
Stay game related.
All right, stay game related.
Stay game related. Stay game related.
My man. Stay game related.
Stay game related.
All right. Stay game related, man.
Stay game related.
Stay game related.
Stay game related. All right, my man. Stay game related.
Stay game related.
Yeah.
Stay game related.
My man.
Stay game related.
My man.
Y'all better stay game related.
When the whole world be waiting for you, but if you want some local shit, you won't even know.
Welcome to Game Related, where we highlight opportunities and obstacles from former athletes with the thought process of giving future generations a better understanding about the game. These conversations are meant to bring awareness to the hardships and opportunities that come with the game. Let's get game related. All right, y'all, we are back with another episode of Game Related, man. Keith Williams is finally in the building. All you guys have been asking for this interview for literally the last year, man. So we got the OG vet in the game, man. We're going to talk some training. We're going to talk about how he would navigate a kid right now. We're going to talk Markelle Fultz. We really going to get into it, man. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. So first question I want to ask you, the game's changed so much in the last 20, 30 years, right? With this new era of NIL, transfer portal, right? How would you help navigate a kid through this?
Well, first, I want to be on the record and say that I don't like where the game is today.
Okay.
But given this is the game, but I still try to get parents, the ones that I try to get involved with, try to be honest with them and tell them, like, if you really believe in your kid, you won't chase after all these various NIL money and going to this and that. You know, I mean, you look at what happened with the math recently, where the kids, right, or 3 kids just left, you know. Back in our day, that would have never happened, right, with the math. So it's a strange road we going down, but I would love an opportunity again, God willing, to have a kid that can move the needle, that can show everybody the proper way to do it. I always tell some of my younger people around me that that's my biggest concern about why things did turn out better for my son, Markelle, because I thought he could have been the leader of doing it right, of it being as organic as possible. I think that's what is missing. Once Kobe left the game was in trouble.
Why you say that?
Because he was real about basketball. So you're talking basketball. He loved basketball, and he went about it, you know, the right way. And I learned so much more about him because he loved DeMarcus. And he would try to mentor and talk to them. I like DeMarcus. He's trying to groom you. You know, you're the last. You might be the last of that type of player. So, you know, obviously, DeMarcus didn't quite get it. But we need more people like that. And I don't want to be a LeBron basher, but the reality is the moves that he's made is what the game is all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
He jumped from team to team. That's what basketball is all about.
Yeah.
We chasing money. That's what basketball is all about. At his age, there's no way he should have taken that $51 million ish drop. If you really wanted to win, right, you would have took $25 million and got another star or two, and you probably will win. So I think I want to do it the old school. I have no doubt about it, while navigating how it is. Yes, you got to get some money NIL, but should you chase the NIL or should you chase the best situation for you? And I think that's why everybody moves.
I'm glad you said that because, you know, everybody always is complaining about AAU like they the problem. But it's a trickle-down effect. And I always say it, you know, they're watching the mannerisms of everybody in the NBA, the celebrations, the coaches, the players getting coaches fired. You know what I mean? The players super teaming up. You know what I mean? Or, you know, one of the things that I think, you know, we talked about this a little off camera, but with media, it's like media has become a big issue, in my opinion, because the wrong things are getting highlighted.
Yes, push.
You know, where we're showing a kid tying a shoe or at the, you know, laughing with his friend, you know, or he crossed the ball over and missed the shot.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, highlight culture has taken over, but, like, that is what started in the NBA with media. And so, like, we got this big issue in my eyes, you know, and I don't know how to fix it unless, like you said, it got to be somebody who's out front, who is the leader that changes the whole dynamic.
Well, what people in the basketball world don't realize is that we are all in this business herded toward a certain stock.
Yep.
If you look back, and most of the number one picks tend to be kids with a single mind. And a lot of times the reason for that is that powers that be in the NBA feel like they can manipulate them at some point. And so if you go back, you look at it, that's kind of how it's set up.
I never heard that one.
It's kind of how it's set up, and I noticed it. You know, I don't want to give away too much because I don't want to steal the kids' dreams, but this thing is a whole big scheme. I will say this. When Markelle was going into Washington, I was concerned, you know, I'm from the old school. We got to go out here and we got to prove it. And I won't say the name, but a USA guy was like, hey, Keith, he's the number one pick. Unless he forget how to play, he's the number one pick.
So, and that was before the season started?
Before the season started. And I thought back to our first big client, which was Steve Francis. You know, at that time, I was a pedestrian in the business. I'm just kind of watching. But I noticed how they looked at him. And I noticed how everything was about how they can market him, how he looks on camera, how they can sell it to the masses.
So not necessarily basketball.
No, basketball is honestly lags. Probably lags. They like narratives. They like stories. Markelle had an incredible story. He came out of nowhere, second bird, played freshman. He played JV. That is what they wanted.
That's like NFL draft.
Correct.
Right? Every person got a story. They try to make you cry every time. I'm like, can we cut this shit out?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. I get that.
That big business stuff.
There.
That's big business.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. First and foremost, let's go back. What did you see in Markelle back in the day? And, like, talk about just y'all journey as far as, like, you developing him.
Well, Early on, not much. Because he would just kind of, you went up the court, you turn your back and turn around, he'd be on the ground. So his feet were way ahead of him.
Dude.
The one thing that I thought was great about him early on is his ability to focus on one particular thing. Even at a young age, he would skip a family event if he could to work out with me. There was one time in particular, they were having a family dinner, and the whole time he's trying to plan with me how he can leave the family dinner and come back and work out with me. So I think he locked in, and the truth of the matter is, we were working all that time, but it only took him 18 months that we go from unknown to the guy.
I got a question on that, right? I'm going to switch off of Markelle because in this era that we in right now, parents are always complaining about them feeling like the kids getting left behind if they're not training and doing all these things so early, right?
Right.
Just my personal opinion, I believe that when a kid is like 15, 16, like that's that window. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think before then, it's just about having fun, learning how to play, right? And then kind of understanding letting your body develop, right? Because you don't know where you at yet. But like once you hit there, what you just said, that extreme focus, it changes a lot, and you pass a lot of them cats that was supposed to be next to you quickly. You know what I mean? And so like you don't gotta really rush that process.
You do.
You know, speak on that just for a minute.
I think even for myself, because I wasn't big into the rankings. But when you got a kid and you feel like you're trying to figure out how does it really work. And so obviously I took a peek at Dennis Smith, some of the kids. They were out early. And what I realized is they really couldn't play. They were just the best athletes at 14 or 15. So they got the jump. And I would tell Markelle crazy stuff like, we're going to be number one. And of course, at that time, he probably thought I was crazy, you know. And I think somewhere, I'm not sure he believed it, but this is what I do know. He did believe in my vision for him. And so even if he was uncomfortable, he was going to go out there, try to take on a mission that I set him up.
Nice. So when he got to Washington, right, obviously he did his thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was y'all still tight at that time?
Oh, yeah. Everything was great until he got drafted. But yeah, Washington, everything was spectacular. I was really close with Lorenzo Roma.
Yeah.
I knew that they played at a certain pace. I know that they set the most screens. And so that was advantageous for him, that he would either score the ball or get an assist practically every play. He really dumbed himself down. He probably could have averaged 30, but he's a nice kid. And he cares about his teammates, but I wanted him to go.
Yeah. But I like that you just paid attention to how they played. And said, he gonna fit into this. You know what I mean? It was very intentional about sending him out there. All right. So now we talking about he got drafted. Like, what you think went wrong, you know, between, I guess, communication or what, you know, on that end?
I think the underrated thing about all those kids is that you really got to look at their circle.
Right.
You have to look for the weak link in their circle. His circle, and I mean no disrespect at all, I still got love for them. No matter what, you can't change this. We did it. I think his mom wasn't ready for the jump.
What came with it?
Yeah. And then people, you know the business, people putting stuff in her head.
Mm-hmm.
And it came, if you will. Everything that we had planned, it just came down.
Why do you think, now you hear it all the time, right? Why do you think that we don't stick with the cats that helped us get where we need to go.
Well, that's the business. Once they get to the top, the guys that are at the top, whether it be an agent or whoever, GM, they're going to say, hey, Stanley was good for getting you here, but he doesn't know about this. But and it's just basketball. At the end of the day, if Stanley was good enough to get you here, why he can't be good enough to help you matriculate through the NBA?
You know what's crazy? There was a point in time where I almost believed that at one point with one of my little homies, right? And I was taking back, letting other stuff happen, and I was watching it, and I was just like, don't make sense.
No.
Right? And I was like, no, this ain't it. And then I remember specifically a coach saying, I don't know if he getting the right advice from Stan. I was like, damn. So we didn't did all this. And now you coming with but you just blowing my phone up 10 times a day when you needed me. And now you trying to outsource me. And we kind of talked about this off camera, but like, I'm going to just say it, you know, it's a couple things that from our culture, I would like to see better. You know, the first thing is we got guys in the NBA, like you should be trying to hire, you know, guys that are from your area to pull them into the game, right? Because when I do, you know, you've master trainer, I've done some training. What I've seen is I don't want to call it social media trainer, but the guy with the
That's what it is.
Okay, well, we're going to call it that. You know, they worked in the NBA and then they branched off, built a relationship with the kid, and all of a sudden they're training. But it's easy to train a pro. You know, it's so difficult to train and develop a kid at 13, 14, 15, you know what I mean, and make them into something. And so that mindset of we not hiring our guys, and then all of a sudden we taking our chance to really build community, actually have some funds, right? Because what I've seen a lot of times, like I said this to you, you know, to me, you should be in a different position right now, you know, sitting up on your feet, empowering empowering a guy like myself, you know what I'm saying? And other guys, and putting them in position to win, you know what I mean? But like, what did you say is training is a thankless, what'd you say?
Oh, this is a thankless business, whether it's trainer, mentoring. I mean, again, it's all a setup. You can say my story, you can say Curtis and Mike, right? You know, and both people lose, right?
Right.
I don't know. I think the biggest thing is that we've got to raise our little black boys to be men. Like at some point in time, you're not going against your mom. You just being a man, right? Even, I mean, I could know growing up that it was, of course, my mom was everything. There came a time where like, I hear you, Mom, but this my ride, and I want to ride it this way.
And I'm going to figure out on my own.
That's right.
You know, and because your mom will always love you in the nurturing side.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And like, I remember specifically, you know, I would have been a spoiled child if I just let my mom keep doing stuff for me. And I was just like, nah, we're going to do it this way. I don't care if I got to struggle. Like, because the struggle going to bring through that adversity, build my character.
Every story here, Katie, Mike, Markelle, they were strong. Wheel ups. And I don't have a problem with that. But it's funny a lot of times how women want their sons to grow up to be these strong men, but yet in front of the whole world, you emasculate them, you make them a boy.
That's a whole nother 2-hour convo.
Like I say, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to come off as the angry, the unhappy old man, but I've been in the business. You know, I've been able to watch it, and I've been a part of, even me and Bud, we had a point where he changed agents, and the new agent, they wanted me out the way. because that's where I was really learning my chops. I was able to talk to the reporters. I was helping with his brand with Nike and doing all these things, and they wanted to shut me up. And so at the end of the day, the mom, she fired without, and I was his manager too. She fired me without letting Boogie know. Yeah. Because the agent told her.
So your position once they get there is basically business manager.
I wouldn't say that, but I try to protect them. I'm trying to do everything I can do.
You the guy that see
till they win. Right. And I'm man enough to go against the way to do things. And Markelle, like the Sixers and everybody was upset with me. And I only protected him. No, he ain't practiced. We ain't got the deal done. He's not going to practice. He's not going to get hurt out there and practice. It's just business. And then y'all going to try to lower his value. He was already hurt. You know how it goes. So I think me just loving my guys, Eric, told him, right? Yeah, but how's it be? Don't want you to be. They want you to just be happy that you got a guy in. But I'm like, no, we're not going to do it like that.
What if you could have done anything more to protect you? What would you have done differently?
So could have put them on a contract. I did every deal. I did a Nike deal. I did every deal that he got. Markelle, a lot of people, it went right over people's head. He's the only no one pick. They had a commercial. You remember with Tracy McGrady during the NBA Finals. And I didn't take a penny off that. It was all about marketing him because the way I understand it, I didn't ever even enjoy him getting picked number one. You know why? I was looking at that $1 billion we gonna make. I was looking at we gonna be VP in a couple years. So when it all came crashing down, I never enjoyed it at all, not 1 second. Because I'm like, yeah, we gonna get in, we're gonna kill these boys. So it's one of those things. I think Curtis could say the same thing. They want us to be happy to be happy on the sun. And I don't want their job. I don't want an NBA job, but I wanted to do things right, even with Nike, And I didn't know I was doing anything different. Right? And like I trademarked F2G and MF and Markelle Fultz, so that when we were doing a negotiate shoe deal, Nico was like, hold on, I got to get legal in here because I've never dealt with an agent or anybody who's trademark. They got to figure out what do they got to pay Markelle every time they put his name or whatever on the shoe. So it was things like that I did it. I promise you, I wasn't trying. I was just trying. This is my son. Forget the basketball. This is my son. I was just trying to do what I thought was best for him and all the experiences that I had in the business. This is what was right. It was proper.
Now talk about, obviously, he had, his jump shot changed, right?
Jump shot didn't change.
Okay, well, you tell me what happened with that, because it looked different.
He had a nervous breakdown.
Okay.
I think his thought process was like, we gonna get in here, we gonna have fun, I'm gonna do my thing. And when that didn't happen, it crushed him. I think he thought all those years, Mom's a little Frankie because we don't have money. So he thought, when we get this money, all that's gonna go away, and it did. And so, it crushed him. It crushed him. He didn't know what to do.
So you say he lost his confidence and he just probably couldn't get it back?
I think it's almost like you're standing non-drug addict, but you, right? Put your drugs, though, we're going to see a different stance.
Fact.
So I believe that that more or less that was the thing. It was some stigma with him shooting the long shot. If you remember,
Yeah.
if he's closer, he was most like he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Further out, something happened. So I think it was an mental emotional breakdown. And something that he's still now 8 years later, it just hasn't come back from.
How are y'all now?
Sporadic conversations. I still love him. But, we're at a stage where, one, we don't have that relationship. I always tell people, I don't really know him anymore, right?
Yep.
Because he's buried under all that money he made and all these people saying, well, he really didn't do this. Keith really didn't do that.
Right.
And I think a part of him, because he ride for his mom, I think a part of him wanted her to be right. And so I think he's the type of kid, he's willing to crash and burn, and we almost there, unfortunately, to follow her lead on it.
So let's switch subjects real quick, man. You got your own podcast.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Kind of stumbled into,
Okay.
but I love it.
Is it therapeutic? Because this is therapeutic for me.
I think it is, but I think I just liked the bonding.
Yeah.
With men, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And trying to get them to just open up. Because a lot of times, we from here, we're not to cry, not to share. So I think, and we had Judge O'Hara yesterday, he was saying that you're opening up something for the old guys to get their true story out.
Yeah.
Not what was put out there, popular opinion, but what actually happened. So I think I'm really enjoying that. It's just connecting with people. I always had a lot to say, man, even when I was young. It's funny, in college, a friend of mine, Richard Milo, he used to say, man, you could be on ESPN, man. We was 20 years old. So it's funny that now, 30-some years later, pretty much I'm getting a chance to, like you say, talk my talk.
Yeah.
I think people are responding to it. So it's been fun. Obviously, I watched what you was doing, and I was like, man, this is all right. You I was like the young fella doing some good things, man, talking some real talk. Over the years, me and you ain't have a million conversations, but I feel like every conversation we did have was meaningful.
Yeah. I will say that one time, and I'm going to say this on camera, right? When we had talked about me coming over.
Yeah.
Right?
You should have.
I should have, but I'm going to tell you, I was so non-trusting because of what I just dealt with.
Right.
That I couldn't trust anything other than anything I felt like I could control. And I couldn't relinquish it. And it was like, we had the thunder that disintegrated. Right? Quickly. Something that came fast, went
away faster.
Right?
Yeah.
Then I'm up in Baltimore. Them dudes treated me well, but it was Baltimore.
Still Baltimore.
Like I live in VA. I don't want to go to Baltimore.
That was a hike.
It was a hike, right? And so then when we coming back home, I ended up back in Baltimore.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Because that process gutted me, and the folks that I thought I could trust, I couldn't. And I'm trying to, like you say, protect my youngin' to make sure he getting everything out. And, I could say as a man, I probably apologize because I probably wasn't easy to deal with. But like at that time, I couldn't trust nobody.
I tell everybody, you remind me a little bit of Chris Monroe, because Chris Monroe is a different type of dude.
Yes.
Very bright guy. Mm-hmm. I think had you come on, I think it would have been perfect because I was the director that was never around. I wasn't pressed to be seen. I didn't want everybody to. Yeah. And I think you would have fit in well. Because I really didn't have anybody. Brown and them were really young.
Yeah.
So they really didn't know. They was excited we made a move. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do remember that conversation. Dude. You know, we had 3 pros on that team. Yeah. Nate Darling, of course, but Markelle. So, you know, I was don't get all the love that they did. We had quite a few good runs. Obviously, even when Assault was jumping off, it was right there.
Yeah.
Now, was Assault better funded? Ain't no question. We maxed out what we had,
But that's all you really need, though. You know, that funding piece and the name and stuff is really overrated. You know what I mean? If you go out there, you got a guy or a couple guys and y'all boogie, everything gonna take care of itself. You know? And so when we was with Melo, we was on the circuit, but
how was that, Baby?
Bay was cool.
Bay pretty cool.
Bay cool. Bay very business oriented. You know what I mean? And Bay is
even him. I didn't mention him, but same thing. You know, him and Josh, they'll be like, it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, these relationships, especially the high stakes ones where the kids are really good.
How do we get better at that, though?
I think, like I say, going back to you, I think I should have not just protected myself, but I thought I did a good job with happening. I thought I did, but I think I got stuck in, we're going to be number one. Like, there's been nobody. There's greater players in this region. There was nobody to go number one. We got a bunch of number twos.
Yeah.
So I felt like, in spite of everything, we go number one. It's nothing. It can go further. I tried to manage her. I tried to tell her, like, this is happening. Like, the year before, he's McDonald's. It's like, don't tell him, man. I'm like, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't got to, we on our pants and then we done. We're going number one. It's done. Yeah. So, you know, it's a tough business, right? It's tough, right?
You know, one thing that you said a long time ago, I think we was on the phone, and you were just talking about how this area produces, I guess, a lot of role players, but not necessarily stars.
We don't have.
I don't know why. I mean, obviously we got KD, but like, you know, why do you think that is?
Well, I think we're the best coach in the United States. Ain't no question. We got, you know, the most gyms.
Yep.
Most teams in this small per capita.
Right.
So I think we over-drill, older coach. I think Durant's AAU program, that thought process is right. Take over is the pro, right? And Keith, don't take it wrong. Raised your Keith. Hey, I trained you too. Hugh Stevens, that is. It's about the program. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He's got an incredible model.
Yes.
But Durant's trying to find stars.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times over the years, I've told parents, if you believe your kid's a star, you probably need to take a Durant or we all one and down the way. They gonna let you. But if you wanna
Melo too.
Yeah.
You say Melo.
Yeah. If you wanna be a team player,
Yeah.
then you go to Takeover. The reason why I said I will play because even with Takeover once got the most transfers. They go to the night schools and don't appear to always work out. And it, you know, again, it's practice.
Yeah.
I'm big on situation.
Right.
I'm like, this gonna sound crazy, then, but a Bowie State, man. We gonna average 37. And then we gonna jump up to Maryland. We gonna average 15. They gonna get in the draft. Man, people gonna laugh at you. Like, man, you missing like, oh, dude, man, he crazy. But I look at the odds. I look at things differently.
It's crazy you say that. So, like, I think about me when I played, right? Played at Gonzaga. And all the guys who played public school, right, around my era, like, they ended up going in better situations because they was able to show their game.
Yes.
And then it took me 2 years to get back comfortable playing, just being a hooper, right? Because I'm used to, I pass the ball, I go run the play, and the ball come back to me.
Yeah.
When I got out of Gonzaga, it was one shot, and that shit was up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I couldn't understand that, and I really had a hard time with guys, you know, I'm thinking of Chris Howard, Bobby Mays, Forlorn, like Jeff Green. I can name so many guys that was in that public school, and they got
It worked out better. Because just the DMV.
Yeah.
I think the WCAC is the best conference. And it's changed now.
Yeah.
So we talk about y'all era.
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's the most overcoached league?
That's what I'm going at.
The coaches coach every possession.
Okay.
They don't want you to run. And I didn't really realize it until I started going to all the games, you know.
Yeah, they take the creativity out.
Oh man. But that's the takeover model too, right? So that's why I take over. Shout out to Keith Stevens. Say, hey, I'm gonna grab all the WCAC kids.
And they win.
That's right.
But it hurt.
In the long run.
It hurt in the long run.
Okay.
You know? So I felt that 1,000%. Yeah. All right, so tell me, I guess, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? Or what would you like to happen? I want to know where you see yourself and what would you like to see happen in this area in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, and personally, I don't. I'm 4 years from 60, man. I'm kind of just.
You look good though, man. I told you, you done shaped up and yeah.
I just kind of want a peace. You know, this has been a interesting journey. I had a lot of highs, but a couple lows were real low. Gutted roller coaster. Yeah. But I would love to see this area, as we was talking about, come together, a little bit more unity, work together. I think, you know, it'll help, you know, in the long run, the kids and obviously the people involved, things an opportunity to make good money together. But, you know, youth sports is a money grab. And once they knew they can make money off it, that's when the game changed, you know. I mean, AU tournaments, I mean, her spending $1,500 a weekend just to watch the kids. They got to spend $200-$300 on the pass, right? Food, the hotel. It's crazy. So, do it.
One thing I would love to see is the parents just stay local. You know, when you that young, you don't need to be playing in Houston. You don't need to be playing in, like, I know.
What difference does it make? And if you're 10 years old, the best 10-year-old in the world, he ain't even playing basketball. He probably playing soccer, playing video games anyway.
Say that.
And I'm going to say this to the camera. The rankings are set up to find somebody new. I was talking with Lisa this past year, and we went to Robinson Classic. Shout out to my guys, Robinson Classic.
See that.
Family right there.
See that.
And you could see AJ, he was caught up in the hype. And I told her, I said, kid in Kansas is going to pass him. For 2 reasons. Not just because he's better, but that's what they looking for. They always looking for, well, that's a better story than one kid playing at the top the whole time. As soon as you get to the top, they start shooting arrows at you. Yeah, this is wrong way. This is wrong. Oh, you're not really this good. So again, this is big business. You got people that run these tournaments make here $300,000 in a week.
Yeah.
So once the money got involved, all bets was off. Even with Blue Devils at that time, the cameraman was taking over at that time. Right. You could get a mixtape. You didn't have to work in.
Right.
Mixtapes got so crazy. Part of the mixtape is the layup. So So, you know.
The mixtape was me and you talking.
That's right. So, you know, it just changed, you know. And like I said, I don't want to turn into a race thing, but, you know, we still behind. We still being lagged in terms of information. And when things change, even like the NBA, I was glad to see two teams that weren't breakaway point shooting teams in the finals.
Right.
You can win without shooting threes. Right. Yes, Golden State should shoot.
So they got two or the three best shooters ever.
That's all they got. But the other teams,
play to your strength.
The basket is wide open. Nobody down anyway.
Right.
So why wouldn't one guy say, hey, y'all, Stella, I ain't going to go in the paint. No matter what size you are, I'm going to go in the paint. I'm going to make a living in the paint. I'll go ahead. It's just one-on-one rebounding. And if y'all happen to throw the ball to me, it's one on the post. And if I can't score on somebody that's my side, it shouldn't be in them.
I agree. So I'm going to bring it to the future. We got 3 kids ranked in the top 10 or maybe top 15 in the area, right? So that means they might be All-American, right? How do you look at, so like everybody says this class is good, you know, like how do you look at that on the evaluation side? And what do you think them kids need to do to get better? You could tell me I'm not talking about it, but you know,
well, because it's a small town, and you know, but I don't want anybody like, man, if he took the style of my kid, you know.
Yeah.
But
I'm just looking forward thinking, because I see things that all of them need to get better at.
It's no question. But here's the thing. The kid number 2, he's who he is. Even though he's definitely not one of my favorite players, but what I do love about him is that he knows who he is. So he's maxed out what he got. He like, I'm going to play hard. I'm a toughest guy. I'm going to be the most athletic guy on the floor. And that served him well to get that. But the other 2, you talking about Ant? Is that what you talking about?
Ant not in it.
He gonna go. That would be surprising.
You ready? You think Mike Ant is slipping there?
Yeah. Malcolm will let it rock. And he probably had the best summer. And there's nobody probably in the country that had a better summer than him. And the summertime is when you really.
He had a run like they not the same player. Like he had a run like Colin Sexton.
Yeah.
Remember when Colin Sexton came out of nowhere and just you know, very similar.
And even Boogie Ant on that All-Star circuit or something, he showed out.
Yeah.
Like he didn't shy away.
Right.
Some of the other kids that we talking about shy away from in the stuff. You know, you got to be a star amongst stars for them to really. Boogie.
Yeah, that was a poll I was going to ask if we think he can sneak in there.
I do believe it.
Yeah.
Now, some of them politics on that other side will probably guarantee it.
You see.
But still think he got a chance. I think he'll have there's not much in the WCA that can stop him.
Right.
He'll score a lot of points. I think they got to finish probably top 4 WCAC. That's what we top. But if they can finish there, I can almost guarantee he'll make it.
That'd be sweet.
Because he got a story.
Yeah, he do got a story. That was there was a picture that popped up, right? And the picture was, it was Ant, it was Smitty, it was Samuels, and it was, what's my man, Moody, right? And they were talking about, had that team stayed together, right? Would they have won the Peace Jam? This is what I be getting in my DMs, right? And I'm like, maybe, but Ant wouldn't have grown to be who he is. And see, this is the importance of understanding that you got to run your own race.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because that pain that he felt drove him, right? And sometimes, you know, one of the things I'm gonna take it away from the kids, and I'm gonna put myself in this, right? I was up at Made Hoops in April, right, watching the games, right, and I was talking to a guy, you know, former coach of mine. Was like, you know, man, it'd be cool if I could get to the point where I do live events here, right? And you know what he told me? He said, they don't need you. You ain't big enough, right? But in this era right now, somebody would take that same hard conversation and play victim and cry about it on the internet. Oh, he don't fuck with me. He not cool with me, right? I took it. I was like, you know what? You're right. But you know what? I'm going to get my weight up.
I say,
I'm going to get my weight up.
Motivation.
Right? And then I started preparing, right? And then all of a sudden, you know, I ain't do no live event there, but I guess I did a live event with Lethal Shooter. I did a live event at the joint with Wallow. Okay, did that and just did another one. You know what I'm saying? So like there's lessons that come with this game, and anything that you're doing that you just stay ready and prepared for.
But you could have been media though.
Huh?
You became in just as media.
Yeah.
Like you can just,
Yeah.
Funny story, my first time actually being a part of McDonald's was myself and a partner of mine, he's from Seattle. We were media for DeMarcus the year he made McDonald's. So he in a mind.
So he just gave me an idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, my point is, I ain't take that shit personal.
No.
And I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get my weight up. And the same thing, like, I don't know Ant at all, but he took that situation and he turned it into a success. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I would love to see hammer home a little bit more with these new generation is, yo, like you can't be friends with everything and think that me and you on the same team and we just gonna come our way up. Like, you have to go a different lane than me. Maybe we'll meet at the top, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta separate to take that next step. And so it's interesting. I get a lot of conversations and DMs.
Well, I think it worked out for him. His style of play,
right,
wasn't what Takeover was about. And it's not for Randy that the beauty of this area is he was able to have another option.
Right.
That's worked out tremendously.
Right. So, man, is there anything that we didn't talk about? I know we could talk for days, man. I feel very comfortable in here, and I feel like we could rap for a longer time. But, like, is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to talk about?
I mean, like I told you, I'm open. Like, I want my life and my experiences to be open books so that somebody going down this trail that had the issue their place and they'll understand some of the pitfalls of this business. And even being genuine sometimes is the worst thing in a business where most people are disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I think we pretty much, we touched on it, a bunch of really good topics.
I got two more questions.
Let's do it.
First one, you had Steve, DeMarcus, Markelle. I know you probably had more, but
yeah,
you know, like just them three. What was so different about each one, and what lesson did you learn from Steve that helped you with DeMarcus, and what lesson from DeMarcus helped you with Markelle?
Well, Steve was a magnetic player.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was a pedestrian then. I wasn't talking. I was in the background when he was doing interviews like this. I was in the back. But I learned the business on the plus side when they rocking with you. Steve, I'm going to call you out. He was trying to figure out how Destiny's Child, who's he trying to holler at. I told him Beyonce. But he went out to Kelly wrong.
Kelly a pretty lady.
But anyway, getting back, I had to put that out there. But getting back, Steve, like I said, I learned the business on the plus side.
Yeah.
How they look at you, how they almost looking at you like a piece of meat. Ain't no doubt about
Read
it.
the book, $10 million.
They wasn't looking always right at it. They looking kind of through it. So I got a chance to see it when that machine get by.
Yeah.
Also with Steve, I learned that you can't cross that machine. Along the way, he did cross that machine a couple times. Well, Boogie, I learned how narratives get started on you, and you can't beat them. Everybody believed that Boogie was just rough,
Problematic.
out of control. You would have thought the kid been to prison 3, 4, 5 times. This is a kid never rode a bus day in his life. Mama made sure he was the kid that needed a hug. He was a big Eddie. Not saying he saw, but he needed a hug. He was the kid that if he played bad, he needed the assistant GM or GM say, hey, Book, meet me tomorrow at 12. We're going to have lunch. And sit down and tell him, you know what, I know you was 4 from 17. Take 20 shots tomorrow. So the narrative on it was bad.
How did he get that narrative?
Well, here's the truth. In middle school, imagine 6'7", 6'6", 215, 13 years old, 14 years old. A bus driver, school bus driver, put his hands on him. He really just defended himself.
Yeah.
He was bigger,
Yeah.
stronger than the bus driver.
Yeah.
So the way the story got out is that, he was out of control. Even though all the kids on the bus said, bus driver attacked him first. So he went through that. They put him in different schools and stuff. And so that story kind of followed him.
Hey.
Now, is he a 0 to 100 guy? Yeah. How to know where he can get upset. But a lot of that had to do with, his dad wasn't there and he didn't trust men. So his thought process is always, you're a snake until you prove to me you all right. And so the slice didn't happen. That's how he feels.
Yeah.
But at his core, tremendously great kid, witty kid, full of energy. He was a dancing machine.
Yeah.
And truth be told, John Walsh, he was the one doing it, Doc. He was the one. So when Kentucky Madness happened, Tyler Perry says to him, don't be out there dancing and stuff. But guess who did that? John Wall, so that became his thing. But I ain't seen Boogie. We ain't been at DC. Well, we've been at London, and him and Chris Brown are going at it. And he looks crazy as a 6'10", 280.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something special. But yeah, and I think negativity sells probably more than positive.
Absolutely.
So we were doing a special, and then I'll get to Markelle. We were doing an ESPN special the year after Blake Griffin
Okay.
did his, and I forget who it was, but it was like they set us up. They was talking about workout was better than John Wall, and so they saw us. Everything went well. We had John Thompson. Everybody chimed in. It was spectacular. But the reporter a week later says, I was in D.C. with Boogie and his trainer, and at that time he wore 272. A week later he weighs 282. So it crushed me and Boogie. My partner was like, hey, you had to learn, man. Can't be so honest because this business is this.
Yeah.
Markelle was the golden child.
Yeah.
Everything was working. He had a certain look, he had the brown eyes, athletic kid, and a couple of NBA people call him the beautiful mind. They felt like he understood it. And the saying in the NBA, kids don't realize it's slow. Don't run fast.
Right.
And he was really good at reading and reacting immediately. And so everything worked. Everything we did, I never had to wrestle with anybody. Nobody really knows this. We had a situation with Gatorade. He would have been the first kid to get a deal with Gatorade as a rookie. Like I said, we sat down with everybody. It was sweet. So Boogie and Steve taught me that this can be easy. Yeah, this can be easy.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I feel like I'm in that step right now. I done healed from
Boogie
situation, right? And I feel like I'm ready to put my hands back on another youngin and kind of like, you know, help him out.
Right.
But it like I'm listening to your gaps, right? And like you know, when you put your all into it, it take a minute for you to like people like, well, where you been at? I'm like, bro, like
you need some time.
I need to heal. You know what I'm saying?
I had stopped training altogether.
Yeah.
Chavez, shout out to Chavez. He pulled me back in up at the church. I was kind of done. I was like, this ain't for me. I'm getting too old. My heart can't take it.
Right.
You know, because I gave my all. And, you know, I cried. When that situation happened with Markelle, and I finally got the call from Philly, and, you know, they made it on. So within this business, the first time people got to jump on me, ain't nothing I can say. They like, hey, Keith, this kid right here we got in here, that ain't the kid we drafted. And all I can say is, man, I expect y'all to call me a little bit sooner because he was messed up. And I was crushed because I could see like all the best laid plan, like we here. So you know we here, and we here with the politics. Anything he does, they gonna spin it to the positive.
Yeah.
Being winning the, you know, summer league, they telling me Ben Simmons ain't been around the team all year, but he realized, hey, the kid no one pick 2. And he came in and practiced against Markelle. And I was like, okay, this what I want right here. We're going to find out right now. And Ben tried to rough him. And Markelle stood his ground. He like, oh, that's nothing. Ain't nothing going on here.
Yeah.
And he was running around him, doing what he wanted to do. So I'm like, here, you know. So that whole situation, it takes time to heal from that, because I did it organically. It wasn't like this kid was an 6th grade in the country. Nobody knew.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So my last question is handling success, right? You spend so much time trying to get to the top.
Yep.
But once you get there, it's a different animal. You know, what advice can you give to players and parents on handling success?
First thing I would say is, it's the journey. Because once you get there, all you got to do is maintain. Enjoy the journey, man. The second thing would be, your circle is your circle, right?
Yeah.
I may know that we got to watch standing around everybody, girl. You know what I mean? Whatever that may be, right? Oh, put that out. What I'm saying, place down. But at least I know you don't, right?
Right.
Come up with you.
Yeah.
A lot of times, they get themselves and they start bringing on these strangers.
Yep.
That are dressed up, buttoned up real good. They got nice food. They got this title. And all these guys, they represent it. And I always try to tell parents, first and foremost, you don't want to be represented by somebody that represents LeBron James. Right. Because he's the only thing that matters. Right. Second thing is, look down when he disaster made behind whoever they is. Look how many people haven't happened. Maybe reach out to them and find out, you know, the business. And like I say, the business is all messed. Man. But people see the bright lights, then they get confused.
Hey man, this has been an honorable show.
Yeah,
I truly appreciate this. Hopefully I get a chance to come on yours if,
Sure.
if I'm deemed worthy enough.
Yeah.
Man, this was cool. I definitely appreciate the time, the vulnerability. And I hope it was as therapeutic to you as it was for me.
No, for sure. I mean, as an older gentleman, I hate to say that, but I'm an OE. You gotta share,
Yeah.
Too many times, or IG is the king of lies, right? There's no truth to it all, but people take it as the gospel.
Right.
I want people to know, like, yeah, I was hurt. It was a crux. I lost. I won. I should have did this. You should do that. As opposed to watching somebody else go through this. There's somebody else's imposition to go through the same thing, But I think because this era is foiled, you got so many people that he can't.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, as a whole, I think most parents think I can do it myself.
Right.
They truly believe that. Or I think one thing that hurt me is my attitude is always, ain't that hard, just this is what you got to do. So if somebody's around you, they start believing, like, what you said.
Yeah, he got it.
Well, he says easy, so why, if it's easy, why I can't do it? What I mean by easy is easy for me because I can see you.
But you also got the experience.
Yes. And I ain't afraid. Like at the end of the day, I'm a beat Keith everywhere I go. I ain't afraid. I sat across the commissioner of the NBA and different people, and I'm going to say, I'm not going to just get them on whatever they got to say if I don't agree with him.
My wife will laugh because she going to be like, that sound like you. Well, cool, man. Hey, that's a wrap for this episode, man. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share, and always stay game related.